Representative, thank you for being here.
Hey, good morning. Great. First time for me.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we're happy. Hopefully, it will not be the last time as well. We'll see. We'll see how you feel when it's over. But no, we're very excited to have you here. I want to start with a lot of focus on the House coming up. So, do you, with the current spending bill being debated, do you support the funding bill in its current state, or are you holding out to try to separate the DHS funding from the rest of the bill?
Well, actually, that has happened in the Senate. And what we're going to see is a package with five bills and the Homeland Security bill split out from the other five and with a continuing resolution until February 13th, so that there can be some discussion of some accountability for ICE. And I would say rather commonsensical things. I mean, like not wearing masks, being able to identify yourself, wearing body cameras, things that they should have been doing all along as law enforcement officials. Um, uh, you know, I hope those discussions will also include making sure that we preserve our First Amendment rights. I mean, something that everybody sort of took for granted, that you could protest without, being shot or tear gassed. But our Fourth Amendment rights, illegal searches and seizures. I mean, someone just break your car window open and snatch you out. That there would be some restoration of some probable cause before you could approach somebody. So, I think that what we're asking for is not extraordinary or excessive. It's just take us back to what is legal. We just want the law followed.
Yeah, and Congresswoman Moore, Speaker Mike Johnson says that if this shutdown continues for very long, that this will be on the Democrats' hands and that they'll be blamed. How do you respond to that framing, knowing your reasons why you voted against funding for DHS? What do you say back to him on a case like that?
Listen, that is the Republican talking point. According to them, everything is the Democrats' fault. I mean, if you listen to Donald Trump, he's still blaming Joe Biden for what we're experiencing now in the way of affordability. But they it is so painful. They are clearly in the majority. They are clearly in charge. We just swore in Christian McAfee, the seat that was once occupied by Sheila Jackson Lee, and then Sylvester Turner took the seat and died literally within days of his being sworn in. And a whole year, the Republican governor held up filling that seat because the majority was so narrow, and because Speaker Johnson doesn't want to invite Democrats to be part of our democracy. So no, I can't see where the Homeland Security bill will fail again. Uh, uh, we have Democrats who will vote for it. We're unlike them. We're not under some sort of autocracy where the people have to do whatever the Democratic leader says that we want to do. But we do want to drill down on making sure we can preserve people's civil rights and constitutional rights with regard to ICE. And I'm hoping, so it doesn't have anything to do with whether the government is opened or closed. This is whether or not we can rein in this private police force of the president's.
We're joined by U.S. Representative Gwen Moore. She represents Wisconsin's 4th District. Representative, you rightly said the Republicans are in the majority. They run things. But we've heard and we say, and I've said it many times, we're wondering why Congress can't do anything to curb this administration. So behind the scenes, give us, for those of us who don't get to be on the floor, what is it like trying to reach any kind of consensus with the Republican members of the House? And are you starting to see any cracks in this blind support of the administration?
Well, I think we've all seen some cracks, and they've manifested themselves in ways that are fortunate or unfortunate. You have people like, and I'll call names, Don Bacon from Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, that is definitely a blue spot in the entire state of Nebraska. But he is a former Army general or Army general. He has represented that district with some dignity, but he's voted for all of Trump's crap, although he's a moderate. But what is he doing? To get out of this situation, he's retiring. You had Marjorie Taylor Greene rebel against Trump, dragging her into the White House, demanding that she take her name off the Jeffrey Epstein uh, 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 uh,
The list, the documents?
Files.
yeah,
Yep.
the bill. And when she didn't do that, he called her Marjorie, Traitor Green, and literally ran her out of the house, or she saw she was no longer going to be his girl. And so I think Republicans are trying to hold their heads down when you talk to them on the elevator. I have had Republican women chase me into the bathroom to try to convince me that they were one of the good ones. you know, but they're
They'd
still
say it
gonna
on the
vote me.
floor, not in the bathroom.
That's right, chasing me into the bathroom. And so, um, all of us want them to grow a spine, but when they do, there are serious consequences for it, and they know it. It's not an enviable position. The big solution here is to take over the majority of at least one of the houses. And I think we're in really good shape to really take the Senate so that we can really make Donald Trump a lame duck in the second half of his presidency. That's the only solution, y'all.
So, Congresswoman, let's kind of switch gears to that, because you actually had an op-ed that ran in the Wisconsin State Journal on January 30th. And when you talk about, flipping the Senate, that goes back to voting in each and every state. And you discussed the fairer map situation here in Wisconsin in that op-ed. So, why is this, for anybody who's still on the fence about why we need these fairer maps or what they are, why is this such a critical moment for these redistricting reform here in the state of Wisconsin, especially going into the elections?
I think it's really important to level the playing field. I mean, we saw what the president did, most notably in Texas. I mean, wiped out, really redistricted on the basis of race, wiped out uh, seats held by African American members.
Mm-hmm.
In Missouri, there are two African American seats, one in St. Louis, which would be hard to get, and another in Kansas City, Representative Cleaver, Emmanuel Cleaver, wiped that seat out. Tried to get Indiana, except the state legislature wouldn't go along with them. And California, in response to what happened in Texas, did it because they were trying to create a permanent majority. What's happening now? We just saw that in Fulton County, Georgia, in Atlanta, the president so enraged about Georgia voting against him that he has now gone in and taken, boxes of actual voting ballots out of Georgia. Furious with Minneapolis, and which is besieged by ICE, and I guess maybe we'll talk about that. But bottom line is the president has said as recently as within the last 24 hours, yeah, I won Minneapolis 3 times and they've been cheating. Um,
No.
no,
No,
they
No.
didn't vote for you, Donald.
no.
You know, and you know, and so right now, Mark Pocan and I are the two Democrats from Wisconsin. When this is a 50-50 state.
Right.
Hmm.
It's a 50-50
Yep.
state. So how do you figure 6 seats for Republicans and only 2 for Democrats? The math ain't mathing. And it's because of gerrymandering.
The math ain't math, and I love that. Congresswoman, we only have a couple minutes left. We, again, appreciate your time. Do you think that there's a possibility of an ICE occupation in Milwaukee or Madison or anywhere in Wisconsin like we're seeing in Minneapolis, or are we safe because they're using Minneapolis as more of a testing ground?
I don't think anybody is safe. They're in Colorado now. I mean, we're in Maine. I don't think anybody is safe. I think the important thing for us to do is to uh, do what Josh Cowell, our Attorney General, is doing. I think we need to lean into all of the judicial solutions we can to make sure that they uphold citizens' rights to protest. When they come here, there are trainings that are going on in Wisconsin for how to be a legal observer. I am concerned because I think we got a wonderful police chief, but I do think, the uh, our police union, almost immediately endorsed the Republican candidate for governor.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the basis of that was. I served with Tom Tiffany, and he ain't all that to be endorsing on day one of his candidacy.
C-
Without
c-
shopping around. Uh,
Congresswoman, we're going to have to interrupt you and leave it right there. That is
okay,
Congresswoman
Suzanne.
Gwen Moore. She is a representative of District 4, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank
It
you,
is 7.
Congresswoman.